our historical first creative business talk today with Adam Nosalek. We started this series of videos, so you can be also looking forward for the more videos. Anyway, here is today Adam, and Adam is actually ex-Googler. He founded his own business here in Sri Lanka, where we are currently located. So Adam, could you maybe more introduce yourself?
Can do a little bit. So Adam from Czech Republic. We know each other for a little time from back then. And actually 1 year ago I did the crazy step that, as Tyna said, left a job at Google. And not only that I left like a secure job in a very interesting place, but decided to start something on my own. But actually to go to a crazy country like Sri Lanka, in the middle of Asia and in the middle of Indian Ocean. So that can be a short introduction to start with.
Cool, thank you. You mentioned the Google, so maybe start a little with the history.
Yeah.
What was your role in Google and how was it in there?
So I did 2.5 years working in Google in the sales team. So my role was basically looking after few small companies that are advertising with Google. Then I moved to taking care of agencies. In the beginning it was digital agencies, and later on I moved on taking care of media agencies. So like the job, basically what it meant was making sure that these agencies on behalf of their clients know how to use the Google platform and that they do it properly, and that the clients are actually not spending too much of money on something that doesn't work for them. So
Sure.
that was the role, and basically what I could see on myself, that what I'm very interested with is working with the smaller and medium businesses, where you can actually see that the help you can give them and the consultations that we are giving them can actually help them grow through the marketing platforms and so on. So basically that was one of the impulses that made me think that it can be done also outside of Google.
Okay, so and that's why you started your business.
So that was one of the reasons, and as well, Google seems like it's a dream place to work. I was working in Ireland in the European headquarters, so you have 4,000 people working there. You have all not the slide that everyone is asking for, that's in US, but basically you have everything you can wish for. You have a lot of restaurants, and you have all the pool tables and table tennis, and you can do anything, swimming pools. So it's completely like a dream place to work for the first few months. And then you're working from the whole day, sometimes even in the evenings and nights and so on. The job is very challenging, but the main important thing is it's a huge company. It's like now it's more than 80,000 people, and if you start from the bottom up, it's a super difficult place to grow. So like if you want to build up a career and starting in such a huge place from the very bottom, it's very difficult. So it seems, and the second part is that most of the Googlers from the day one, they are talking about starting their own companies. So it's kind of a very natural thing to do after you reach some kind of experience and you try some things in Google. So that natural.
So it's quite common that people go to Google and then they leave to open their own business.
Actually it is, and it's quite a common thing to do if you are in the sales team and directly working with the marketing platforms. You start your own agency. I've heard that all over. Last weekend we met 2 people that did the same thing. We didn't know in the beginning, so.
Okay. And is it because you get this great know-how, or?
Can be as well. You get the know-how. You get the know-how on how it should supposedly work the best, and when you spend 2 years like educating and teaching agencies how they should be doing it, and you see, of course there are a lot of amazing agencies that are doing it, but then you see there's a huge majority of them not doing it completely the best way, or that there's a lot of room for growth and that they can change. Then you realize that you actually know a lot of things than other agencies might not. And you say, okay, what else? And as well, it comes with the thing that I've always wanted to start my own business, but then when you graduate, when you're after school, it's very difficult to start something. You have to have an idea, and then so as well, starting an agency is a very low cost thing to do, since you're just providing service. You just need to know how the campaigns are working. And you need a laptop and be somewhere. You can be anywhere in the world, apparently. So it's very common way. Without any investment, you can do it.
Okay.
Just start, then it's, if you can see.
So, and this was also the reason why you started it, or did you dreamt of your own business before also?
So I always dreamt of my own business. So it kind of came through. I was always, within the first year of Google, you are dreaming that you can build a career, and then you this is the place to be. But then after that 1 year, you start realizing that, as I was saying, it's pretty difficult. Then the feeling that you want to have something on your own start becoming a little bit stronger. And as well, we are all expats in Ireland, further away from home, and it's a place. Ireland is a beautiful place, but it's cold and it's raining. So then it all comes together, and you realize that actually, like, how the life would be if you work for yourself, rather than working for very challenging targets and so on. So that all came together, but the strongest factor was that I always wanted to have something by myself, my own company, and also like I wanted to build something from scratch. I wanted to learn. Like, it seemed you feel very successful and you feel everything is going well when you are at Google, but basically you have a huge brand behind you, and it's very easy to work with companies and to give them consultations and so on. Everyone is only waiting for someone to come from Google, and at that point you start realizing, okay, is it really about doing something interesting, or is it like I'm really giving them so much value, or is it they're just happy to talk to someone from Google? It doesn't matter who they are talking to. So that also like comes with your own satisfaction to understand, like, can you actually do this on your own? How different that could be on your own, and actually are you gonna succeed? So that kind of curiosity. So.
Well, I know that you've traveled a lot. You are originally from the Czech Republic. On the other hand, you worked on Google in Ireland. So why Sri Lanka?
That's a question I'm getting everywhere, especially in Sri Lanka. Because to start with, Sri Lanka is a very funny place. Everyone from Sri Lanka wants to get away. They don't see much foreigners actually moving and coming in. So I'm literally explaining this on a daily basis a lot of times. When I was still at high school, still at university, thanks to ISEC, I did a 1-year internship in Colombo in like a pretty good IT company, American IT company, and I loved the internship. It's very challenging in the beginning, but then the bond with these people and a lot of friends and so on is still there. Then I kept visiting. Even when I was at Google, I came here twice. So it was like kind of a natural thing to do if I didn't want to just leave Google and start something small in Europe. Saying this is not small, this is always going to be much smaller than it would be in Europe, but in Europe it sounded something the common way. You leave Google and you start something, you can have an agency, which there are thousands of them in every country, but it sounded like something completely different and much more challenging somewhere else. I always was interested doing it in a third world country, and then which one would it be than the one that I've already spent a year of my life. I have some friends and some bases, but the main thing why Sri Lanka is, this is the background, and it helped a lot. But the main thing is, I was having a discussion with my friend, now partner, over a beer in the south on the beach when I visited them for some travels, and I missed it and so on. And we were discussing, let's start a business together. And we were discussing how online marketing is actually doing in Sri Lanka. And then we said, okay, let's just have a few more discussions within the communities and the agencies and people that are in marketing in Sri Lanka. And whenever we ask them about online marketing, everyone talk about Facebook, having some posts, having a page, maybe do a little bit of boosting. But no one actually talked about online marketing. Okay. So then we did like more checks and we tried to find out how is the situation, and what we feel there's a huge gap in the market. Not anymore so much as it was last year, a year ago. But what we feel at that point, there was a huge gap. And we were thinking, okay, either there is a problem and it's never going to work here for whatever reason, or it's just going to break at some point. Okay, maybe the time is now. And from then it took us probably 3-4 months of talking, then when the decision came.
And you moved here.
And then I left everything in Europe and moved here. So
awesome.
It's pretty crazy.
So you are running your business already approximately for 1 year, right?
Correct.
Okay. So you met a lot of Sri Lankan people so far, in the business and out of the business since you live in here. How are the people in here?
First of all, I think they are one of the most friendliest nations I have seen. So it was already like 4 years ago when I was on the internship. We created a group of friends so close after 4 days. Within the first week, I felt like I've been here for forever, but very long. So like first of all, I think they're super friendly. They really take you in groups and so on. So that part is amazing. Then they are super open. Like I spend a big portion of this time living here. I spend living with the family of my co-founder and partner, and I consider them almost as my own family. I can sleep there in their house, I can eat their food, and they will be taking care of me as same as my parents were in Czech. So that part is absolutely incredible. And then obviously not everything is so bright as it might seem. So it's always challenging, and like the how to say it, the mentality or like the mindset of Sri Lankans, they are very laid back.
Okay.
Very often, almost always not on time. Everything has a lot of time. You don't have to. If you promise something, it's fine. You call back in a month, in 2 months. So like doing business, these type of personalities is very challenging, very difficult.
Okay. So, since you are, let's say, a white European guy in Sri Lanka, what do you see as the advantages and disadvantages being white in Sri Lanka doing business?
It sounds like, from the first point of view, it seems like it's a huge advantage that you should be having a lot of credit and so on. It does still at the first sight, even in the reality. It opens doors. So when actually we are trying to get a meeting or when we go for meetings and so on, the fact that there is a foreigner doing it here, so they are very happy to talk. They're very curious. Why is there a foreigner? How did it happen? Why did he come here? What did we decide that? So it helps in this point of view. It also helps like presenting that we're bringing the expertise from Europe and from Google and so on. So all this whole combination is working like perfectly well to open the door. And then when you are at the meeting and during the meetings, and very often like during the whole time you are engaging with Sri Lankans, they will start doubting if the foreigner can actually understand the local market. So then actually they can understand the product and so on. Obviously it's a very difficult thing to understand the local market. That's why I didn't start it by myself. So we always have the guarantee that my partners are Sri Lankan, but it's always bring this doubt. So at some point, yes, it helps to get the meeting, but I think it hurts even a little bit more to convince them that in this market that we are pure dish, that we can actually deliver. They expect us to understand the psychology of the people and so on. That part can be challenging.
Okay.
So yeah, it's both, but sometimes it helps.
Okay. And since, as we talked about, you are currently pretty much living here in Colombo in Sri Lanka, doing your business in here, but you still have family back in Czech. So how do you combine these two things?
It's true. So as you said, I've been in a lot of countries since 5-6 years ago. So basically I've never been home for more than a few months, so they're all used to it. They all like don't count that they will see me too often. So from that point of view, it's fine. As far as I get to see them regularly. So what happened during this 1 year in Sri Lanka, I was basically, the first half a year I didn't come home at all. But now the last half a year, I was basically 1 month here, 1 month at home, and now it's like, you can basically do the work remotely. You can be anywhere with a laptop.
Sure.
And since we already have some people on the ground in Colombo, so it is possible. But so from this point of view, it was okay. They enjoyed me much more than probably ever the last 5 years. But now the situation is going to be different. And yeah, it's hard, it's challenging. You always feel you're far away. There's always like you have this kind of thing in your mind that, is this for a long time or is this maybe just a temporary thing until it will kick off bigger, maybe we can become international and so on. That's a different topic. But you always feel that like something is in the back of your mind. It's like, am I really like, did I leave home? Did I leave my own country, or is this only an experience? And we'll see. So it can be challenging as well.
Okay. Okay. Well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
Let's more focus on your field actually. PPC commercials.
Okay.
PPC commercials are pay-per-click commercials, which you can pay in the Google advertisements to get your business and your web pages on the top first positions, right? I was just wondering, from your point of view, what do you see as the coming trends in PPC commercials?
So basically, like PPC in Europe, when you say PPC, usually people will think of like Google search ads, and then image banners and like the display network and so on. Here, the PPC term somehow doesn't even exist. So they look at it. What we call in, I will say it this way, when we call PPC in Europe, they say social media here. So that's the point I'm trying to come to. Everything is put on social media. They're just figuring out they can actually do much more. So that would be the one thing. And the trends, what we can see is, in terms of like PPC means pay-per-click. So basically it's all based on channel, but what we see is a mixture of a lot of channels and types of creatives. So it's texts, images. Biggest trend we see is videos. So video is becoming so strong. It's been like, last year it was already becoming incredibly strong. This year what we can see, authentic videos. People are getting so sick of like this Hollywood style production, amazing, beautiful movie. videos, which in Sri Lanka, like the trend is every ad looks like this complete same thing. It's done with amazing production, with famous people, and people are getting completely immune. They know they're just trying to sell a shampoo with the same family in the same house all over again. So that stops working. So the good trend that actually starts working is with influencers and with very authentic production. So the best thing we are recommending to the companies to do and trying to push them actually to do is just to take your phone and just to shoot a small video completely like as an influencer rather than spend a lot of money. So the video would be definitely one thing. And other thing what we actually see as well is people see online marketing as like a separate, completely different thing. They want to just show images to as many people as possible. They're not thinking of the marketing behind it. So we see it in Czech Republic, in Europe a lot, here completely just like bombing people. In Google we always use the word carpet bombing. Just like try to get everyone as much as possible with some image. You don't really think what it means, how, when do they see it and so on. So I see, I think this is the negative trend that people need to start pushing that kind of trend to be even stronger.
Also, the PPC and general digital marketing is an extremely fast changing environment, right? So where do you see PPC or general digital marketing in 3 to 5 years?
So it's already coming pretty quickly, and in Europe, when I was talking to a lot of agencies, they are all afraid they'll be out of jobs in another, I don't know when it's going to happen, but because everything's going to be automated. Actually, a lot of things will be automated. I wouldn't say everything, but the threat and like, the fear of this actually is there pretty strong. And you can already see, so we are already working with a couple of very interesting clients in Sri Lanka, and we are using these automated and it's like all these buzzwords like AI, machine learning and so on. It's actually like complete buzzwords that these days everyone is talking about them, but they actually work like that. So it's very hard to run. It's not just that it's autopilot and you would turn it on and it does everything by itself. You still need a human person behind it. But the main thing that will happen in 3 to 5 years and so on will be that most of the things that we now have to do will be done automatically. And we will move on more on the strategic way, the strategic position. We will still have to come up with the creatives, the concept, the strategy. Then you will let the systems decide when you're going to show people, when it's actually that it doesn't make sense and so on. But automation definitely is going to be the thing that it's going to change it.
You mentioned that the people are usually afraid that they will lose the job. Are you between those who are afraid, or are you looking forward to this move?
I am personally actually looking forward for that, because what I was trying to say, most of the jobs we are doing today, we will not have to do. So we can do something with much more added value. And I can already see this in a lot of companies, they don't necessarily care how we do what we do, and what is actually the little things that we are doing. They want the result. So that result will be there. Not everyone will be able to do it without the strategic overview and without actually running it properly and coming up with, and as well, now when we're running these AI campaigns, you actually have to be very careful what type of content you're putting. And it's not the same thing as you would normally use before. So for these reasons, I would definitely not afraid that it will be difficult. But actually I got this question from people from the industry from Europe, like, why do you actually start a company? That like, the trend is that these companies will be out of business very soon. So a lot of people are thinking this way. So it's always a good question to answer, to think about, but I don't think they will be out of business.
Me neither.
Good. And as well, addition to this, in Asia, absolutely not. So there might be companies that will try to run it themselves, but they still need the agency to do it a lot. And in Asia, they will not understand they can do it themselves. So a lot of markets that they will need someone to do it for them.
Okay, so thank you so much for your time, for your thoughts and ideas. This was Adam, and we will see you during the next interview.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Tyna, for inviting me, giving me the chance to say a few words, and it was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure on my side.